And good morning and welcome to the Utica Curling Channel. Roger Ouellette here with a call on today's feature game in Pool B. Features two 1-on-1 teams. This game is very, very important for them for determining who will make the playoff. 2-1 will get you into probably the A or B championship playoffs. 1-2 puts you on the bubble. So each of these two teams today are 1-1, so this is an important one for them. Our feature matchup is Albany 1 playing the Red Rocks. John Cadwell at skip, Liz Cadwell at third, Chris Hannett at second, and Max Sutphin at lead. And they're facing off against Nutmeg 2 playing the Yellow Rocks. Here on sheet 4, Alan Ratazak at skip, Sarah Trejo at third, Rich Peterson playing second, and Lauren Powers playing lead. We'll introduce those team members a little more detail a little bit later. Looks like Nutmeg playing yellow has the last rock advantage here in the first end. Not much going on in the house. Looks like might be a little slow again here for the first end. It's pouring down rain outside, so it's a little humid. And this early April day, that humidity is creeping into the shed, making the first end just a little bit slower than normal. Looks like the ice starts out about 13.5, 13.8 hog to hog. But in our last game, by the second, third end, we're up to 14.5, 15 seconds, so very fast ice. So players will have to make an adjustment this first end, and then they'll have to make another adjustment as the ice speeds up later in the game. And it looks like they got around the corner guard. That's Sarah Trejo with a nice come around. Now we're down to skip rocks here in the first end. John Cadwell. Try to return the favor by getting around the center guard. Lots of guards in play here. First skip rock for John Cadwell. I think he overcorrected on the weight. This is going to run a little quick, and this will go through the rings. Now a golden opportunity for Nutmeg. I think it go right around the center guard, right to the top 4, top 8. I don't think you want to guard the hole here. I think the Albany team's going to go right around the center guard, so I think you need to cut that draw path off, beat them to the 4. Maybe a little bit higher so you can score your rock in the back 8. Maybe just bite 8 in the hole. Bite 8 or full 8. I'd like to get just maybe a touch underneath here, or maybe about there. Just so that the opposition can't hit and roll under. First skip rock for Alan Ratazak. Looking to plug the hole here. Love to count 2. This looks a little strong. I want to make sure they get around the guard. They're around the guard. Might come a little deep here. Not a bad effort. They're sitting 2, but they did leave an out for Albany. John Cadwell can follow that rock down. Whoa, took a little spill there. No harm done. I think it's just a dead draw. Just ignore all those rocks and play yourself a draw to the button. Even down a little backing. Last rock here in the first 10 for Albany's John Cadwell. There'll be one more to come. Oh, could have probably used a little redirect there. That's going to go through. If they got in a weight call, maybe they could have played that little shave redirect. Now a golden opportunity for Nutmeg. They can draw for 3. They just got to hit paint. Well, it looks like there's another biter too that's just off my overhead screen. This will be a draw for 4. In fact, they could split for 5. You really want to get greedy. And throw back 4, back 8 weight. Split these 2 on. That's a 5-bagger. Can't see the stone out here. There's a stone out here on the 12-foot that you can see on our long view. I think they're going to go for it. I think he made a motion as to playing a split here. I think that's a great call. Just want to catch maybe a half-quarter rock here and roll this one on the rings. Line looks really good. Got to make sure they make contact thin. Oh, this looks really good. And they might have enough. They almost hit it too thin. They probably needed to sweep it, but I think they got 5. Might have to put a biter bar on the top one. They're kicking the rocks. That's a 5-bagger. A really nice shot there by Alan Ratazak. Gets off to a big start here in our feature game. Nutmeg 2 grabs 5-0 lead with a beautiful split after 1 end to play. We had some lopsided games in our earlier Pool A games, even though these games should be fairly even matchups here by the 3rd round. We had a series of fairly lopsided scores in our earlier draw. It looks like we may be off to the same here if this game is any indication. We'll try to keep you up to date on some other action. Got a full 6 sheets going in Pool B, 12 teams. Diamond State leads Broomstones 2-0 over on sheet 5 after 1 end to play. Our feature game is big 5-ender by Nutmeg 2 in the first end. They found draw weight first. Nutmeg's first stone in the ring's not a bad idea with a 5-point lead. Albany try to come around wrecked. And now I think Nutmeg is just going to remove any red rocks they see here with early lead. Let's introduce the teams. Albany 1 playing the Red Rocks. They're skipped by John Cadwell from the Albany Curling Club out of Liverpool, New York, nearby here. Not too far from the Utica Curling Club. Been curling for 4 years. And he has one of the most interesting avocations when he's not curling. He keeps bees. And we thank him for that because we need those to pollinate the plants. He says hello to Liz Moms Terry. His third is Liz Cadwell. Also curls out of Albany, Saugerties, New York, his hometown. Fourth-year curler. And she says hello to her pups, Lobo and Apollo. Chris Hannitz, the second, out of Guilderland, New York, 5-year curler. Enjoys volleyball, golf, and house renovations. All I can identify with that. When you're not curling, house is on you, not the other way around. And he says hello to mom and dad. And finally, lead Max Sutphin out of Schroon Lake, New York. Very beautiful area. Been curling for 4 years. And she likes to play with all the puppies. Says hello to Poppy. That's your Albany 1 team. Nutmeg 2, a.k.a. the Dainty Handles. They're skipped by Alex Ratazak. Why have I got him down as Alan? Alex Ratazak. He's out of Norwalk, Connecticut. Curled for 4 years. When he's not curling, likes to stare at the wall and think about curling and pickleball. Pickleball is a great thing you can do in a curling rink over the summer when the ice is not out. Says hello to Mom, Dad, Nick, Aaron, Abby, Sean, Laura, Molly, Noah, Nate, Jennifer, Cindy, Michael, that's a lot. Kevin, Amy, Ed, Jean, Katie, and Aiden. That's a whole bunch. Sarah Trejo's the third out of New Haven, Connecticut. Second-year curler. When she's not curling, she likes to read the ice in science fiction. Bake sourdough bread. Says hello to Mom, Dad, Matthew, Carolyn, Megan, and Bug. Rich Peterson's playing second today. New Haven, Connecticut. 2-year curler. When she's not curling, she likes to practice curling. Well, that's curling, isn't it? And complain about the Mets. Well, everyone likes to do that. Says hello to Mitch, Alf and Joan, Mom and Dad, Susan, Rose, Pete, Joan, Shane, and Ronnie. That's a big bunch. These people know a lot of folks. And Lauren Powers finally is playing lead for Nutmeg 2. Out of Madison, Connecticut, 4th-year curler. She's not curling. She's interested in volleyball. Duolingo. And curling. Think about curling off season. A lot of us think about curling off season. You miss it when you're not doing it, and it seems like it's a long season when you are. Says hello to Abby and Aaron, Lisa and Rich, and Danny DeVito. There you go. That's your 2 games in today's feature match. You're in Pool B. Pretty open house here in the second end. Three Nutmeg Rocks in a house. Shot Rock belongs to Albany, but it's wide open. chase this inside out. Yeah, got to go hard for a piece here. And they got it. Removed from play, that's all that counts. Nutmeg's got plenty of rocks in the rings. Hard to see the rock on the edge. Looks like Nutmeg's hitting 3 though. Real tough to score a deuce here without guards in play. I'm going to try to freeze, I think, to shot stone. It's Liz Cadwell for Albany. Line was really great, just came up a little short. Nutmeg's going to remove that anyway. No sense to leave that in play. For those of you just tuning in, this is the 2025 Raymond Kayser Bonspiel. It is a mixed Bonspiel for curlers with 5 or fewer years experience. Mixed event requires 2 men, 2 women on a team, shooting in alternate order. And the skip and vice skip must be opposite genders. Those are your mixed curling rules. Oh, that over curls. And took out their own rocks, so I think they left Albany shot rock. Chance for Albany to split the house now. Sit 2. Get some of those 5 points back. They could go around 2. That'll leave themselves open to an easy double or an easier double. Yeah, I like to freeze. That's the other option. Albany's just going to try to freeze a red rock on these 2 yellows to make it very hard to remove. And sit 1-2. Good way to set up your deuce. And maybe a shade wide on this. Is going to bump up shot stone. It's shot her. And looks like Albany only lays 1 at this point. Second stone is the yellow rock in back 12. I'd still be tempted to run that rock on the top 12. But Alex Rotazak is going to just come around and try to freeze that rock in the back of the 4-foot. Well, if you got your draw weight and make this shot, it'll take away the end. First skip stone here in the second end for Alex Rotazak. He's got a curl, trying to push it. Hard to push a heavy rock. Trying to make a heavy rock curl, just make it go deeper. And you know the line wasn't bad, just it was too much weight. Now a golden opportunity for Albany. They can go around top 4 buried. Maybe just show Nutmeg a piece of this red stone right on the top 4. They'd be in good shape to score 3. First skip rock for John Cadwell. Oh, looks a little wide and a little strong. It's going to go to the back four. I don't know if it's going to click. It will click. And they sit two, but they're behind T-line. Now a chance for Alex Rotazak to get out of trouble if he can just come around and sit on that pocket in the back. Draw right on top of shot stone here. That would force Nutmeg to a single. Great chance now for John Cadwell. He sits two, has a chance to draw for three. Needs full 8. Last rock, second end. John Cadwell looking for 3. Sweeper's going hard on this. Needs full 8. He's going to raise that rock and get his 3 that way, and that'll work. That's a 3 spot for Albany 1. They got themselves back in the game. Gave up 5 in the first, got back 3 in the second. After 2 ends of play, 5-3 Nutmeg 2 over Albany 1. Nutmeg 2 will have the Yellow Rocks and the last rock advantage in the third end. Another scores across the rink. Utica 1 leaves Colonial 1-0 after 1. That's really the marquee matchup of this go-round. Those are 2 undefeated teams ranked at the top of the pool in Pool B. So that should be a good one. Over on sheet 2, another undefeated team, Rochester 1. They're going up against top 1-loss team in Philadelphia 1. Rochester 1 leads 2-0 after 1 end over there. Albany 4 leads Norfolk 2 2-0 after 1. And over on sheet 5, Diamond State leads Broomstones 2 4-0 after 2. They've grabbed 2 consecutive deuces to start the game. And finally over on sheet 6, don't want to forget about sheet 6, Rochester 4 leads Schenectady 2 2-0 after 1. That keeps you up to date now across the rink. Our feature matchup is Nutmeg 2 over Albany 1, 5-3 after 2. Well, center guard and a corner guard start the end. Should have some rocks in play this end. Albany needs to generate a steal. They're down 2. So they get the center guard in place. Very tight to the rings, trying to make it come around here. It's Max Sutphin with her second. It's going to be a little strong. Ice will definitely speed up this end. If it hasn't already. Nutmeg's going to go around the corner guard. Make this shot. They can clear out the middle. They should be in good position to grab a deuce this end. Line looks really good on this. Just tuck it under as far as you can go. That was pretty good. Half buried. Not an easy get. Maybe a bit of a strategic error for Albany. I think you want to go around that center guard. Put that center guard there for a reason. Go ahead and use it. You could chase that rock on the side of the wings, but by directing your play away from the center, you're reducing the chance of your being able to steal the end. Now, if Nutmeg can remove the center guard, makes the steal very difficult for Albany. Want to make sure you hit this high enough to roll away. And they'll roll for another corner. That's very nice. Now, a couple corners in play for Nutmeg. They could set up a pretty big end here. Now Albany's in a bit of trouble. The other option here would be to throw a center guard, something you can come around, although they'll probably be peeled by Nutmeg. They've got 2 corners in the middle open. That's an ideal situation for the team with the last rock. And this will over curl and actually guard shot stone. And now massive trouble for Albany. As Nutmeg can get around the other corner line too. And that'll set them up for a score of 3 potentially. Nutmeg in the driver's seat this end. Got exactly what they want. The middle open, 2 corner guards. Line looks great here. How about the weight? Sweepers don't want to look at it. All on its own. And it's going to get buried. 2 really nice come around the corner there by Nutmeg. And they're in business here in the third end. Now Albany in massive trouble. They almost have to make a freeze somewhere along the way here. Keep this end from blowing up on them. And that freeze attempt Comes up short. Might have lost a hand or two there at the end. Another corner guard for Nutmeg. They could go around that one. Kind of an embarrassment of riches for Alex Ratezak and his team. Yep, I think that's the call. The only downside to this is that they make a freeze on the stone around this guard. They may count out your other two wing counters. But the important thing here is you're throwing pretty easy shots. The other team's got to throw freezes, which is a lot more difficult. That's the prime strategy directive in curling. You throw easy shots, they throw hard shots. And Nutmeg has done that this end. Yeah, you don't want that one in the back 12. Good idea to get that out the back. And now Albany's got the guard they can maybe salvage the end with. They can get around their own guard. Out count those two yellow counters on the 12-foot. Here's Cadwell now with a chance to bail out of this end. When the sweepers are running after it. Not sure that one's going to stop. It does not. Does not pass go. Does not collect $200 out the back. Now a chance for Sarah Trejo to get around this high Albany corner. Sit 3. And I think everyone's got caught in the fast track here. This one's also sailing. Yeah, Nutmeg didn't want that in the back of the house. That's just a freeze target and an out for Albany. So they're going to have to throw a cold draw around this corner to get out of the end. They got 2 shots at it. This is the first chance for John Cadwell, the skip of Albany 1. Everyone's gone down the fast track. So Nutmeg still sitting 1 and 2. Definitely don't want to guard up the middle with Hammer. I think you want to get around that corner. The middle's got to stay open, just in case there's a disaster. And Albany gets around one of those guards. You need to be able to have access to that 4-foot to get your single. I think a good spot would be right behind that corner guard, maybe top 8. Not too deep. You don't want to leave them a freeze. So count your stones, maybe even a bit higher. You go around the corner guard, I think you get at least 2 here. You might get more. First stone here in the third end for Alex Ratazak. Oh, this just took off on him. Going to crash on the guard. Now there's a hook set of guards. Uh-oh. Now one more chance for John Cadwell. He's got to bury one here to get out of trouble this end. And these rocks were freshly textured about a week ago. They will curl precipitously if you don't put a lot of rotation on them. John Cadwell now with his last here in the third end. Looking to bail himself out of trouble here with a draw around the corners. This one looks like it also may be a little heavy. They're trying to push it over, but just can't push a heavy rock is the problem. And again, that goes to the back of the house, and this will be an open draw for 3 for Alex Ratazak, and nutmeg 2. Just got to put it, bite the 8-foot, be enough. Last rock, third end. Alex Ratazak looking for 3. He'd come to the backing and still score 3. Don't think they need to push it anymore. Got to hang around though. This may over curl. Oh, it'll be close. I think it's 3. Might have got a little lucky there. They almost over curled that, thinking it needed to curl more. So the dainty handles of nutmeg 2, they grab another big end here early in the game. And they lead 8-3 after 3. Albany 1 with the Red Rocks. They'll have the last rock advantage here in the fourth end as we come home toward the break. Lone Powers gets us off here. Their first rock. Bringing this one right in the rings. Forcing Albany to put their own guards in play. It's going to go a little deep, but not bad. Back 4. Calling for the freeze here. Tough to score 2 with freezes. Puts you back in the position of throwing hard shots while the other team's throwing easy ones. Good way to generate your deuce here is to throw a corner guard, especially with a rock behind T-line. A little bit less of a threat than if it was sitting top 4. And of course this is going to over curl. Goes to the back 12. Very aggressive call here to guard shot Stone. With 5-point lead. Another option would be to remove that red stone in the back of the house. Sit 1-2. have been overswept a bit. Going to come up to their own. Possible double here. May go over the top of the red stone in the back. Have to watch the jam. There is a potential jam on that red stone if you're not careful. This one will go. Oh, threw just a little wide. Sometimes when you throw up weight like that's hard to control your line. Don't need a lot of weight to make that double. Now with rock on the button, Alex Ratajczak would definitely throw a guard on these. Or curl the tad, so it does leave a freeze open or a freeze tap. I think they're just going to go for the double here. The other option would be to tap these rocks to the back of the house, use them for backing later in the end. Line looks pretty good on these. You're going to get by. And double made. Nice shot. Albany one's now shot rock, partially buried. Now Rich Peterson will have to see if he can chunk this red rock out of the house. And looks like he's got a nice good piece of it. And roll away from that center guard. Don't want to make it too easy for Albany to roll onto that center when they've got the last rock this end. So don't mind rolling away there, making them play the long roll to get under the center, and they'll probably roll behind tee line. Hit and roll out. Now we got an empty house. Now it's a battle to see who can get around this yellow guard first. That one will hang on in the back. Chance for Nutmeg to draw down to it. And Free's attempt came up a bit light. A chance for Albany to get around top four, improve the position of their stone behind those guards. Here's Cadwell. Sweeping for line to get it by. Maybe a little deep, though, to get it by. Once they get it by, it's not going to hang high in the house. Going to go behind T line. Back four. Back button. But Albany 1 now lies 2 with hammer. Great position. I think Alex Ratazak's going to have to come around and freeze. Get out of trouble. So Nutmeg's got off to a roaring start here, but they're having a hard time holding the score down when they don't have the last rock advantage. Need a good one here to stay out of trouble this end. Alex Ratazak with his first. Looking to freeze on shot stone. Sweepers are jogging. That will sail through the back. Better to be short than light than heavy there. And now a chance for Albany to stuff a third one in. And a big end is brewing for Albany 1. First rock here for John Cadwell. All right, one more chance now for Alex Ratazak. Got to get one top four full late, at least cut him down. If you come right to shot rock, you can get shot yourself. Shot rock's back button. Last rock, fourth end here for Alex Vertazak. Looking to freeze the shot stone. This has got to curl. It's got to stop. And just, you can't push a heavy rock. They just don't go. It's going to make contact but roll away. So now an open draw for 3 for John Cadwell. Boy, it gets him right back in the game here. Draw weight went missing here on the back end for Nutmeg. And they've left Albany one here with a chance to grab a 3 back. Last rock, fourth end. John Cadwell looking for 3. This needs full 12. Got to get by. Got to go hard to get this in. And it's going to wreck. Came up light. Missed an opportunity there. Only a deuce for Albany, but a much needed score. They close the gap to 8-5, but they trail 3 going into the 5th end, and Nutmeg 2 with Yellow Rocks. They'll have the last rock advantage in the 5th. Now the scores around the rink. Colonials grabbed a 5-1 advantage over Utica 1 after 3 ends of play. That's the battle of our top 2 ranked teams in the pool. Rochester 2 trails Philadelphia 1, 3-2 after 3. Rochester 1 is the other undefeated team in Pool B. Albany 4 leads Norfolk 2, 4-2 after 3. Broomstones 2 leads Diamond State 6-4 after 4 over on sheet 5, and over on sheet 6, Rochester 4 has taken a healthy 5-1 lead over Schenectady 2, and that's after 3 ends of play. Feature match is 8-5, Nutmeg 2 over Albany 1, and Nutmeg will have the last rock advantage here in the 5th end. And we're back here with you after a short lunch break. Crazy schedule today. 5 draws, 3 pool play games, 2 quarterfinals. It'll be coming up later today after the last pool play game and Pool C winds up. 4 o'clock this afternoon. Our feature game, Nutmeg 2 leads 9-5 over Albany 1. Albany is trying to fight back after dropping 5 in the first end. Albany with the Red Rocks, they've got the last rock advantage. This end down 4, need to make something happen. They got some rocks in play. Sitting, looks like 1-3-4. Well, Nutmeg definitely needs to remove some rocks. This is not going to work out well. This is going to remove second rock, and all of a sudden, Albany's sitting 3. A lot of weight thrown on that takeout. I always say peel for show, board for dough. Throwing those intermediate weight takeouts pays big dividends, keeps shooters round, lets you control it with a broom. Most players are a little more accurate too, throwing lower weight takeouts. Now a great chance for Albany. Oh, and this one just grabbed. I don't know if it picked or was just too light or what. It just took off. Looked like they're trying to split the house and set 4. That would have been a great position for them. Now a second chance for Nutmeg to eliminate a red stone. Need to watch the jam in the back. You want to make sure that this rock leaves play. I'd be tempted to run it the other way into the other red and see if I could get a double. Here's a slash double the other way. This is Sarah Trejo. Now it's going to cross over. This may go after the double. It's close. That's just going to go over the top. Make sure it goes away. Got rid of a rock. Mission accomplished. Yeah, I think that's a better spot. I think you want to go wide. You don't want to clog that middle up. I like going out here. Edge of 8, almost on the 12-foot. Sit 3 spread. Don't want to give Nutmeg anywhere to hide. If you bring this in, you should probably go T-line. Not a bad spot. I don't think they're going to draw around it. I think they're going to hit. Up 4, I just can't imagine them playing a draw here. Still got a slash double if you can run this thing sideways. Hit that one just on the high side. You might catch that red one on the way by. That would be a bonus. So make sure you get rid of the top one. And watch out for the catchers in the back. First skip rock here in the 6th end for Alex Ratazak. Needs to get rid of shot rock. Watch the jam. Are they going to get sneaked through the hole? No, and it jams. So now Albany sits 2, 3, and 4. They can hit this and not jam anything in the back. They'll be sitting 4. That would get them right back in the game. Gonna have to hit and roll toward the inside a bit here. First skip rock, sixth end for John Cadwell. Do not want to hit this on the high side. Nose is okay. That worked pretty well. Tough spot now for Nutmeg. Lots of doubles available. We got this one. Doink, doink. Got the slash double. Pretty much what they were looking at before. I kind of like hitting this one and flopping over here. Could even hit this one and try to flop underneath the long roll. That's a tough shot, though. I think he's going to draw here, which is very risky. This is one of those calls that if you make it, it's great. If you miss it, not so much. Last rock, sixth end here for Alex Ratazak. He's got to get shot stone. And this is going to wreck. And the question is, will this out-count anything? Got to get to the house. If he frees it up, maybe. And it's just going to come up a little short. I think it may have out-counted one rock. Out-counted two rocks. He can out-counted this rock and it out-counted that rock. So Albany's sitting 1 and 2. 1, 2. If they can kill this rock, that's for 5. They definitely need it. Down 4. They can take the lead here with a hit and roll. And complete a most improbable comeback from starting out with a 5-0 deficit. This has not been a defensive struggle. Last rock, sixth end. John Cadwell, Albany looking for 5 here. Got a hit and roll to the inside. Threw it wide, might go over the top. Get 4. He's got to move, got to move, got to move. And I think it may be good enough for at least 3. Be a measure for 4. Three for sure. Three for sure. Looks like we're going to measure for 4. Measuring stick is right nearby, so no problem there. And I think they've got plenty of time to get in their 7th end. There's 25 minutes left on the game clock. They've already completed their 6th end. I don't think they'll have any problem making the 1 hour, 50-minute game clock for getting their 7th end in. And all the way around we go. And it indeed is red, so that's a score of 4. That ties up the game. We've got us a brand new ball game with 2 ends to play. 9-9 after 5, or after 6. Nemeg 2 with Yellow Rocks. They'll have the last rock advantage here in the 7th. So Albany flipped the script here. So they've now got the hammer in the 8th. If things go according to Hoyle. You get a force, come home down 1 with And you got a good chance, probably 50-50 to win the game. Or you steal one here and go up one without. And again, that's about a 50-50 proposition. Not a good start there, though. The first rock goes through the house for Albany. Well, that kind of puts the kibosh on the steal, maybe. Now, Nutmeg gets a free shot at throwing a corner guard or throwing one in the wings. So what looked like a rout early on turns out to be a pretty entertaining game. We're all tied up with 2 to play. That went right in the wings, and Albany's going to chase. I mean, they'd be really happy with a blank here, and they'd love to come home tied with the hammer. Tied with the hammer normally give you a very good chance of winning. Well, after that miss, now Nutmeg has a chance to split the house and set up a deuce, but this is going to go heavy, so it'll be another shot for Albany to get rid of Shot Stone. Again, they would love to have a blank this end. Winning percentage for tied with the hammer is quite high. Going to change it up here. It's going to freeze. Not sure I like the freeze here. You're either trying to steal this end or you're trying to trying to induce a blank, but I guess Albany probably doesn't want a blank. Actually, they don't have the last rock here. Nutmeg would love to blank. Albany needs to try to figure out how to force Nutmeg to 1. They'll probably need a guard to do that. Now another chance for Nutmeg to split the house. They would love to take 2 this end and go up 2 coming home. Without that would put them in a great position. Not sure if this will hang around or not. Yeah, it's going to dig in. So now Nutmeg sits 1-2. So they're set up for a deuce. And now Albany's in a bit of trouble. Probably got to try to hit your way out of this. You're going to try the freeze. If freezes don't get made here, then Nutmeg just piles more rocks in the house. Right now they're set up for a deuce. And this shot stone was wide open. Nutmeg can hit this and sit 3. Really would like to roll somewhere with this. Ooh, that was way off the line. Now a chance for Albany to wriggle out of here. Well, if they can sit 1-2 here, they can get the force. It's not a great steel rock there in the back 8. Yeah, sitting 1-2 is your best bet here. Just don't leave them an easy double. So no guards in play here. The best outcome for Albany is to get a force. Have Nutmeg take a single, come down with the hammer, down 1. Try to get your deuce and win the game. This will come a little deep. So Nutmeg does sit, or Albany does sit 1 and 2, but there is a double available. Right on the nose should get both rocks out of play. That'll put Nutmeg right in business. Make sure you get this top one. That's the important one. Get the double or hit and roll on top of that red stone in the back. Sarah Trejo trying to make a hit here. Probably going to jam. Got rid of 1 red though. Almost going to jam twice. That was not very lucky. Albany sits only 1 though. Now a chance to remove the remaining yellow stone, and then the force is on. Albany sitting 1, 2, 3. Then the only way for Nutmeg to generate a deuce is they'll have to freeze to something on the back of the house. Well, that back stone is available. Nutmeg would like to get 2 this end, put them in a commanding position. Mainly they just need to make sure they can score. So I'm going to try to chase this rock on the back 8. And that was very unfortunate that Rec put Albany in for second stone. And now they have a chance to draw to sit 3. And this one goes deep as well. So there is a double again available. That would bring 2 back into play in case of a miss by Albany. At least getting rid of one of these rocks opens up the scoring area for Alex Ratazak for his last rock. This is first in the 7th end. Looking for the double. Needs to hit something here. It's going to catch a rock. It's going to overcurl a little bit and probably roll out of play. And it jams. Just not enough weight. Albany now sits 2. They can get their force now if they can just put a rock in the house. There will be no triple available. They put one right here, and I think they have to, Nutmeg have to play a cold draw. They won't be able to hit per shot if you put one on the top 8. Or I can make them hit again. They weren't successful on their last hit. So last rock, 7th end. John Cadwell looking to sit 3 here. Force Nutmeg to 1. And coming deep again. Just where he didn't want to be. He has made a huge pocket now for Alex Ratazak to draw to. So just a draw to the pocket. But mission accomplished. Albany 1 sitting 1, 2, and 3. So a miss would give them a cheap steal. They do have backing, but you got to make it. Wouldn't say it's a gimme. So Nutmeg's got to draw. Got to draw right to the nose of that stone for shot, or touch the 4-foot. When you're throwing these shots, it's best not to think about the backing. Just think about cold draw to the tee line. You got the backing if you're just a tad heavy. Or they're beating this up out of hand. This is going to overcurl. It's going to be on the back one. Not sure this is going to be shot stone. Might be second. That's going to be a measure. Might be red because of that overcurl. They may need to get the sticks again. They've got plenty of time, so they don't have to worry about time. And they agreed on the score without having to get the sticks. Indeed, a steal of 1, so Albany takes the lead now for the first time in this game. They lead 10-9 after 7. Remarkable comeback. They've been very persistent. Found their draw weight and have applied pressure, and they now lead by 1. Nutmeg will have last rock advantage coming home, trailing by 1. This is always challenging to play up 1 without. Theoretically, it gives you slightly better than even chance to win, but you almost got to play to steal this end in order to make it difficult for the opposition to score 2. So you almost always have to throw a center guard. And now they're trying to figure out if that's on the center line, which would put the no-tick rule in play. Must be satisfied. Looks like it's on from our vantage point, the overhead cameras. Okay, your two choices here to come around or throw the corner guard. It looks like lead Lauren Powers is going to throw the corner. Or they may come right in. Now the old junior do strategy. Put one back tee. Gotta hang on though. And it does. Good spot for that rock. And this is tough. You know, it's hard to chase that rock on the back 12. Sooner or later, you got to come around this middle rock and center guard, and that's exactly what Albany's going to do with Max. Line looks great. Going sideways here. Just keep going. This is looking better and better. And they're biting for partly undercover. A little more than edge on edge. Now you got to freeze to that. And you got to watch out for that no tick rule. Can't tick the guard if that's on the center line. Looks like they're going to chase it with some weight. All right, so Lauren Powers is going to go after a shot rock. Can't touch the guard, I don't think. They're holding a line pretty well. They're going to get by. Yes, they are. Nice shot by Lauren Powers. Good sweep to hold that rock off the guard, which they needed to do. And now Nutmeg sits 1-2. That's exactly how they wanted to set up this end. Both teams going to have to make all their shots now. Nutmeg's got to make all theirs to score 2. Albany can't miss, or they risk giving up at least 2. Two ways to play this: go around the center or split the house. I like going around the middle here. Beat him to the 4-foot. Don't go too deep. Bite 4. Force Albany into freezing to your shot rock. Ooh, looks like it's heavy. Got to set. And now, big question, do you go around or do you chase off that Yellowstone? Yeah, go for the gusto, go around. Still early in the end, they'll have to bail now. Line's great again, just a question of weight. it dig in. It's going to dig in back 4. Not bad. It is wide open, though. Now Rich Peterson. Want to keep your shooter around here. Don't want to throw too heavyweight. Oh, got to make contact, though. All right, mission accomplished. Going to roll. Well, now I think you got to chase rocks. They're sitting 2. You got to chase those rocks off the 12, I think. Even nose is good here, sit right on top. Now Nutmeg successfully drawing play away from the center. If you could get any kind of roll out of this, it would be nice toward the middle, but it's tough without jamming on your yellow. So nose is okay, or maybe just a tad on the center line side. Try to get some separation on those 2 yellow rocks. But this is advantageous for Nutmeg because they're pulling play away from the center while sitting 1 and 2. So Sarah Trejo, big shot here. Need to hit and stick. And it's going to over curl. Now a big chance for Albany. Their shot rocks, so they can come around the center guard. And this is kind of a free shot at trying to steal the end and end in the game now. Not shot, so just a foot short. Being in a really good spot. Now a chance for Nutmeg again to draw a play away from the center. Hit and stick and lie 2. And this will work out. Oh no, it rolled out. Maybe a tad overswept. Now Albany can chase off the remaining yellow rock. And they're on their way to a force. That will bring this game to a conclusion with a draw to the button. No extra ends played here in pool play or before the finals in this event, as per rules mandated by the Grand National Curling Club. And actually made the double the other way. That works fine. So Albany sits one. Now if you want your deuce, you got to go around. Good chance to score a skip deuce here. The skipper can draw 2 rocks around these staggered guards. Can pocket the win, but you got to make 2 good draws here. And that's going to sail through. The draw weight has deserted Nutmeg in the latter half of this game. Now a chance for John Cadwell to get around top 4 foot and make it really difficult for Nutmeg to get their single here. Potentially steal the end. This is a hot rock as well, but they're going to get the split and sit 2, and this will guarantee a force. And so now it's a cold draw to the 8 foot for Nutmeg. They've got to stick this to get to a draw to the button to determine the winner of this game. Need to stick the draw for a tie, then it'll come down to a draw to the button. Last rock, 8th end. Alex Ratazak looking for the win. Needs 8 foot. Sweepers aren't offering. Gotta sit. Gotta sit. And it's going to go through the ring, so put it in the books. Albany won after trailing 5-0. They scratch out a 12-9 win. And that'll put them in a playoff of one sort or another. Make it a final. Albany won. John Cadwell, Liz Cadwell, Chris Hennon, and Max Suffin, they grind out a high-scoring win over on sheet 4. All right, thank you for tuning in. We'll have another draw for you. The Pool C final game, which will determine the final playoff positions, will be on at 2 o'clock. We'll take a short break. You can always check the results of other games that are going on the sheets at uticacurlingclub.org. So you can go there to find out if your team has done well and has won their game or made the playoffs. We'll see you at 2 o'clock. Roger Roulette for the Utica Curling Club.